Hello, everyone. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are, as you know, King's College, Cambridge. And for the first time, actually, we are streaming live. So we have a live audience. So wherever you are in the world, good afternoon, good morning, good night. And we also have participants from, I think the furthest east is Shanghai, the furthest west is DC, but maybe there's somebody here from the other place, Oxford too. So, a huge welcome. My name is Kamir Mahades. I'm actually an academic at the Cambridge Judge Business School, where I'm the director of our global executive MBA programs. That's my main job. But I have the absolute honor and privilege to be a fellow in economics and management here at King's College, Cambridge. The initiative that we co-founded together with Malcolm McKenzie and Thomas Rollet almost 4 years ago, not 4 years yet, is called the King's Entrepreneurship Lab. So I hope you have a little booklet which tells you a little bit about our impacts. But I wanted to thank our benefactors and donors. In the last 5 months, we have managed to secure around 6.5 million towards student initiatives, purely student initiatives, education, research, community building, and incubation. So I won't talk too much about this. You can find more details here. But one of those initiatives is what we're working on with our friends at founders at the University of Cambridge, and that is Spark. It really is a dream come true because it was first conceptualized by our senior advisory board members, and then we found our partners, founders at the University of Cambridge, and together we created this amazing incubator, which has reached 23 ventures, 17 different departments across the university, and 19 colleges. So a dream come true. Thank you so much for being with us. If you need help, by the way, in a case of emergency, anybody who's wearing a black shirt should know their way around the college, and they're standing around everywhere. So reach out to us. I hand you over to our friend, Gerard.
Thank you so much, Cam. Thank you so much, Cam, and welcome. Welcome to King's College, obviously, and welcome to the Spark Demo Day. My name is Gerard Grech, and I am the Managing Director of Founders at the University of Cambridge. And as Cam said, we have been working in partnership. This is what's bringing the best of King's College and the best of Founders at the University of Cambridge. What is Founders at the University of Cambridge? It is an entrepreneurial platform. It's a new strategic initiative by the university to accelerate, incubate, and grow new ventures, whether they're startups or spin-outs. So it's been an absolute pleasure to work with you, Cam, and the team over the last few, oh God, it must be about 9 months now. And
feels like 5 years.
Yes, it has, yes, at times, only at times. There's been high points and many, many, many high points. And so yes, it's been a real pleasure. And I think what you're going to see, you're going to be absolutely blown away. As Cam said, we've got over 20 teams presenting today. About just over 40% are life science, 30% are software and AI, and the rest are sustainability and hardware. And actually, half of them are using AI to solve their problem. And I think this is very much part and parcel of what we do at Founders at the University of Cambridge, because Spark is one of the programs that we do. The other ones that we do are founder matching and hatching of new companies, a program called Sync. And actually, a couple of companies are going through this program as a result. So we're building an escalator of support, because this is all about bringing the support networks, the mentoring networks, the investor networks. Many of you are here to support the new ventures. And we also have START, our pre-seed accelerator. So we're hoping, fingers crossed, Cam, that some of these companies will go into the pre-seed accelerator, where we will offer them investment through Cambridge Enterprise Ventures. So with that, I'm really looking forward to what's coming next.
It's going to be super exciting.
Yeah. Okay, let's get started. Thank you so much.
Let's do it.
Good afternoon. I'm Winnie, and I lead Founders at the University of Cambridge START, which is our pre-seed accelerator. But today, I'm really excited for you guys to meet our very first Spark cohort. We have 22 companies presenting, and I'll be introducing them to you in groups. So without further delay, let's get started. Our first set of companies all use software or AI to improve health outcomes. You'll see everything covering food intolerances, patient experience, health data, and much more. Our first presenter today is Bernard, CEO of MedArcade, who's developing an AI tool to make medical information available to GPs faster. So please put your hands together for Bernard.
Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm Bernard, co-founder of MedArcade. So today we're going to tell you how we're going to unlock the $5 trillion opportunity in healthcare data by enabling efficient, precise, and preventive care. Primary care is in major problem. 30 million GP appointments every month, but GPs can only spend 10 minutes per patient. Why? Because GPs spend more than half a day going through patient records. That's about £500 million of clinician time stolen from actual patient care. And we're here to fix that. We're building an AI assistant that knows every patient data inside out. Think of it like a data processing pipeline that thinks like a doctor, surfacing the right information at the right time. And the product has already been iterated more than 30 times with clinicians to make sure the output is accurate and also is relevant to what doctors need every day. In the Cambridge pilot, we've used the first version of a product and helped doctors review records 2 times faster and 5 times with 5 times fewer clicks. It's more than just a software. It's a Class 1 medical device that integrates with EHR systems that doctors already use. Just last week, we got £50,000 from Innovate UK to expand our pilot, and this is just the beginning. We have a wait list of 10 practices and are in talks with health innovation networks to enable our rapid scaling. Here's our timeline. First version of our product, we focus on primary care because that's where the need is strongest, and also we can get to market fastest. Second version, we focus on neurology because neurological symptoms tend to be overlooked most often in primary care, and that's relevant to my PhD as well, which would give us a unique advantage in this space. And finally, we're going to combine everything we've learned to build digital twins that help us guide through clinical decision-making for better patient outcomes. This is our team. I have a PhD in clinical neurosciences, led the largest study on familial stroke. My co-founder, Rafa, was an AI engineer at Google X, and he was part of the team that built Gemini. We're advised by Peng, who is a GP partner here in Cambridge, and Nick, who is a medical doctor with extensive finance experiences. We're raising £400,000. Over 18 months, half of it will be spent on R&D and ensuring clinical safety, and 1/3 will be on business expenses to ensure that we move fast, and the remaining will be on sales and marketing to ensure customer success. We've already received a term sheet that covers 75%, but the full round still remains open for the right strategic partners. So come join our mission. Thank you so much for your attention.
Good afternoon. I want to tell you a story about 2 best friends. One confided in the other that he has uncontrollable gas during date nights. And the other said that he has stomach pain on such a regular basis that he missed many, many lectures in his life. These 2 friends are me, Lucas, and my repeat co-founder, Chris. For our second company, we are tackling a problem we both have, food intolerances. But we are not alone. Approximately 250 million people across Europe and North America suffer from food intolerances, with shockingly 78% of undiagnosed cases. Together, we've tried everything: blood tests, breath tests, and manual food tracking. Unfortunately, blood tests have high false positive rates. Breath tests only capture a very limited scope of intolerances. And manual food tracking often remains as the gold standard. But using pen and paper to track what you eat and which symptoms you have is not only very tedious for the user and GPs, but also prone to error. So surprisingly, there's no real good method in place. We are building, as a biostatistics from PhD student from Cambridge, I have the unfair advantage that I can apply years of research into finding patterns in complex data. We are building an app that revolutionizes how intolerances are detected and managed in the future. Users can enter what they eat through voice, text, or photo within a few seconds, and add their symptoms with a few clicks. After a few days, our algorithm makes intolerance suggestions, incorporating insights from users with similar profiles. These are screenshots from our beta, which we launched this month, and while the first users are testing, hundreds more have signed up to our waitlist. While initially we sell our product directly to consumers and through GPs and dietitians, we are already collaborating with the broader ecosystem, including the food industry, supermarkets, restaurants, and pharma to extend our product by 2027. We have the perfect combination to solve this problem. Apart from my expertise in biostatistics, I've worked for several tech startups and led teams with over 50 people. My co-founder Chris brings proven business execution. He scaled our previous venture to 30,000 users and 4 million in funding and is now doing a Judge MBA. But what really makes us unstoppable is that we're best friends solving our own daily problem. So help us transform lives and give people more than just pen and paper. We're looking to raise early next year 750,000, and until then, we're asking you for support during our validation phase, or even become one of our first active users. For that, you can simply scan the QR code and sign up to our waitlist or get in touch with us. Thank you. We're looking forward to connecting later.
Hi, I'm Adi, a co-founder of PsyPress, an early-stage venture focusing on mental health monitoring. And we ask ourselves the question, what if we could give clinicians a 2 weeks notice of an impending psychosis relapse, which can be a disabling mental health event? But in addition to this, these relapses are predictable using speech. Relapses in psychoses are the norm, not the exception, with 82% of patients suffering from a relapse within 5 years, and going into A&E, that can cost £25,000 each time they visit. We see that mean hospital stays can be about 5 months, costing the healthcare system a lot, but also an immeasurable cost to the quality of patient lives. This is because care is reactive, and it misses out on early opportunities where you can detect relapses happening. 2 to 4 weeks before a serious onset of symptoms, we can see that there are subtle changes in speech patterns that can be detected. For example, using a system that uses speech analytics to track these changes, potentially in real time, enabling proactive intervention. PsyPress will be a digital platform that uses audio collected from patients and use machine learning models to convert these to vocal features such as pausing, coherence, and tonality, and measure these against personalized baselines. So when there is a significant change, care teams can be alerted. In the UK, we see a potential revenue of about £40 million, which can be expanded up to £200 million based on geography. Expansion to other mental health conditions is also possible. But in the UK alone, we hope to save the NHS about £400 million in costs. Our founding team includes Ines, our medical founder, with expertise in clinical psychiatry. I'm a statistician with about 10 years of experience in statistics and machine learning. Taryn, our commercial advisor, has a background in biotech operations and strategy. And Chaitanya is a life scientist with an interest in linking speech and biomarkers. We hope to start a first funding call in Q1 next year, and we would love to connect with investors who may be interested in supporting us build our MVP. Thank you so much for listening, and this is PsyPress.
Good afternoon. We are Heartly. Heart failure is destroying individual lives and entire health systems around the world. 1 in 4 people are at risk of developing heart failure in their lifetimes. It's estimated to cost $500 billion a year, and this number is projected to triple in the next 2 decades. Yet, in the advent of personalized medicine, heart failure is almost entirely preventable. Just as waves of diagnostics and therapeutics came into oncology and transformed it, heart failure is poised for its own revolution. The science is ready. All that's missing is the platform to scale it. And that's what we're building with Heartly. We guide our users through the 4 Ps: prediction, personalized dynamic risk assessment; prognosis, scenario testing of interventions and digital trials; participation, an online guided journey with AI-guided coaching, gamification, and support to achieve prevention, the final goal. And for our investors, a 5th P, proprietary algorithms that learn from multimodal data to perform even better over time. The Heartly platform is built B to B to C. Prevention for the individual is aligned with the value proposition for all of other stakeholders. We're beginning with insurers who gain immediate ROI from reduced heart failure hospitalization costs. We will then be moving on to corporates, pharma, and health systems. My name is Dr. Mayank Dalakoti. I'm a preventive cardiologist trained in Singapore, Harvard, and Cambridge. I left a career in interventional cardiology when I find myself stenting patients in their 20s because what they needed was prevention. Since then, I've led $28 million worth of global prevention research, launched national cardiovascular disease programs, and built the world's first real-time risk dashboard measuring cardiovascular disease at a national scale. In our team, we have experience building large-scale tech as well as multi-million-dollar digital businesses. We're grateful to be gaining traction. We currently have more than 5,000 subscribers to our mailing list. We've received endorsement from the world's largest cardiovascular organization, the World Heart Federation. And we're in conversations with insurance, corporates, as well as ministries of health. We're currently bootstrapping towards our MVP. We will then be looking to raise in March of 2026 with the aim of further developing the platform. With Heartly, we're aiming to rewire how the world tackles heart failure before it begins. We believe the future of heart health is prevention. Join us.
Hello, my name is Dr. Barbara Jax, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Human Experience Dynamics. How do you feel on a scale from 1 to 10? That's a terrible question. But in clinical trials where we decide which treatments will eventually go to patients, we reduce complex symptoms such as pain or fatigue to single daily numbers on the 1 to 10 scale. Contrast that to wearables. Wearable technology is now capturing all of our physiological data constantly, every second of the day. But in clinical trials, when it comes to patient experience data, we use scales like this one. No better than customer feedback buttons at an airport. This measurement failure is costly. The clinical trials market is worth $70 billion US. A single drug development program costs $1.4 billion, and 90% of clinical trials fail. Inadequate outcome measures are a huge reason for these failures and are responsible for 50% of those. So this is the number that we are trying to tackle. This is the problem we're trying to solve. So at Human Experience Dynamics, we have built the first platform that captures patient experiences continuously and in detail. Patients just spend a couple of minutes at the end of each day to review how their experiences changed over the course of the day. And this creates hundreds of data points in the course of a couple of seconds. Think of it as turning patient experience data into the same continuous rich data streams that we have grown to expect from wearable data. These experience graphs we then transform in our pipelines and our platform together with physiological data and activity data. And this basically means that researchers now finally see the full impact of a treatment on a patient, right? Getting the full 360 view of the patient. And we are the right team to solve this problem. So my co-founder is Professor Tristan Beckenstein. He is a professor of consciousness and cognition at the University of Cambridge. He's an expert in cognitive neuroscience. And I'm a data scientist experienced in bringing data products to market. We have now been joined by an amazing team of software engineers and research scientists and advisors to bring our product to market. We're excited to say that we now have a partnership with BitBrain, who are a leader in neurotechnology development. Together, we are running a clinical trial where our platform is going to be key in deciding whether the treatment outcome has been successful. We have 4 more projects in the pipeline, so we're really gaining momentum. We're now raising seed funding. So if you are interested in helping us develop this and help be part of making patient-centric clinical trials, we would love to hear from you. So thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Barbara. Up next, we have 5 companies in the sustainable space. You will hear about everything from land management for farmers, solar panels in Kenyan schools, sustainable adhesives for underwater assets, and even a company developing infrastructure to enable industrial symbiosis. First in the group is Dipanshu, CEO of Neela Biotech, who's developing a sustainable jet fuel. Over to you, Dipanshu. Floor is yours.
"300 tons of CO2 is what I emitted when I took my first flight from Delhi to London. That's twice the amount of CO2 I would have emitted in my entire lifetime had I never left India. Aviation is the most emission-intensive mode of transport, and we are here to fix that. Now, the problem with aviation is conventional solutions don't work. Batteries are too heavy to sustain electric flight, so sustainable aviation fuels are the only viable pathway for the sector forward. These fuels are also called SAFs. Now, the demand for these fuels are skyrocketing, driven by airlines and also mandates which are already in place around the world. The sad reality is these fuels represent less than 1% of jet fuel usage today. The reason being that the current production pathways are struggling to scale up. They have feedstock limitations, they require energy-intensive chemical processes, or they require capex-heavy equipments like electrolyzers. One of the world's largest airlines told us that they're being forced to pay premium buyout prices because they just can't simply source SAF in the market. So what aviation really needs is a scalable and low-cost SAF solution. Turns out there's already a pathway which converts waste cooking oil, say from fish and chip shops, into jet fuel using this HEFA pathway. And this HEFA pathway represents 95% of the current SAF production. However, waste cooking oils are an extremely limited feedstock. If you were to meet UK's jet fuel requirement just by waste cooking oil from fish and chip shops, you would have to increase your fish and chips consumption by 600 times. So even if you eat it in every meal, every day, every year, just not enough of it. And that's where we come in at Neela Biotech. So we can convert multiple waste streams, including food waste, agricultural residue, into carbon-negative fatty acids, and that act as direct replacement of the waste cooking oils into existing HEFA pathway. And that way, we're able to produce a scalable and low-cost fuel. Our core innovation lies in the process called controlled microbial upcycling, where we leverage advances and breakthroughs in synthetic biology and AI. And through that, we can also leverage the existing biogas plant infrastructure to minimize our costs. So our team brings this unique blend of expertise in aviation, synthetic biology, and AI. I'm Dipanshu, CEO and co-founder. I have 10 years of experience in the aviation sector, having worked with airlines, policymakers, and OEMs like Rolls-Royce. I did my PhD at Oxford, and I have also raised multi-million-dollar funding for a climate tech startup before. My co-founder and CTO, Frederica, is a Marie Curie PhD fellow at Cambridge in synthetic biology, specializing in AI-driven enzyme engineering, the core of our technology. And she also has previous hands-on SAF production experience. We've also recently hired our first employee, AI engineer, Amuda, and we have an amazing advisory board. So over the past 6-7 months, we've onboarded and collaborated with British Airways and IAG. We're particularly excited by our ability to feed into existing infrastructure and see our technology as means to solve the scalability and cost challenges with SAFs. And that's a photo from our visit to their headquarters at Heathrow. Funding-wise, we've secured 2 grants, one from the Henry Royce Institute and the other from Innovate UK. And we've also secured an uncapped investment from SAFE from Cambridge Enterprise. And we've won a bunch of climate competitions as well. So our collaboration with British Airways gives us direct access to our beachhead market at London Heathrow Airport, where it's already at $500 million. And in 3 years' time, we want to hit 100 kiloton SAF capacity, which will generate us annual revenues of $430 million. And by 2030, we aim to reach cost parity with fossil jet fuel, which will help us acquire the much bigger jet fuel market at $500 billion. Finally, we are here to raise our pre-seed round of $750K, which will help us advance our lab-scale MVP, and we've already received some interest from angels. So please do find us in the networking event, and thank you for listening.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dylan, CEO and co-founder of GreenHarvest. Growing up on a farm in Ireland, I've seen firsthand how climate change is changing the way we use our land. Take my dad, for example. He has taken every opportunity to make full use of his farm in a sustainable way. However, even in Ireland, we've started to experience water shortages during the hot summer months. On a global scale, our planet loses 100 million hectares of arable land each year. That's twice the size of Greenland. For every 1 degree of global temperature rise, 8% of corn, 6% of wheat, and 3% of rice yield is lost. Governments and farmers are at a crossroads, unsure of how to proceed without causing further damage to their land. And that's where GreenHarvest comes in. We're building the operating system for the climate resilient farm of the future. We offer 3 things. Firstly, we help farmers anticipate extreme weather events before they occur. Secondly, we provide yield projections on 3, 5, and 10-year timelines for all of the crops that they grow. And lastly, we recommend alternative land use to ensure sustained profitability and yield long into the future. We operate on a per-acre subscription-based model, scalable to farms of all sizes. My co-founder Tara and I are PhD students here at Cambridge. And building on Tara's expertise in climate modeling with Google and my background in multimodal image analysis, we combine trends in historical satellite data and the latest climate models to give farmers the insights they need to make the best decisions with their land. So far, we've won an SDFC grant, and we're in contact with the National Institute of Agriculture and Botany to build a credible product and a direct route to market. Today, we're asking for 3 things. Firstly, we're seeking international partnerships with organizations and large farms around the world who are feeling these problems most. Secondly, we need help getting access to the compute power needed to process these large data sets. And lastly, we're opening to a round investment over the next 6 months so that we can build our product and run our first pilot. This is not just a business. It's an opportunity to help farmers like my dad and secure the livelihoods of communities around the world for generations to come. Join us as we empower the earth, 1 acre at a time.
Hello, my name is Laura from Ashgold Africa. And imagine trying to prepare the next generation of doctors, engineers, and leaders without a single power outlet. No internet, no computers, no light to study by after sunset. This is the daily reality for 65% of rural schools in Kenya, which are effectively locked in the dark. The national grid is too expensive to extend, forcing schools to use toxic kerosene and charcoal, which harms children's health and leads to a dangerous learning environment. But the crisis is accelerating. Kenya's new digital-centric curriculum requires technology that these schools simply cannot power. This is creating a permanent underclass without the skills to compete. Our solution as Ashgold Africa is to provide integrated solar-powered microgrids to these schools, but to go far beyond just installation. Our solution provides clean, reliable energy, enabling digital learning for the first time. What truly sets us apart, however, is community ownership and sustainability, where we train local technicians to maintain these systems, ensuring longevity and creating jobs. The business model is clear. £7,000 is the cost of installation, with an 8-year return period through monthly subscriptions that these schools pay. Beyond electricity, the schools are able to have healthier environments, improved performance, and even new income-generating opportunities. To date, we have proven impact, having powered 2 schools and trained 20 technicians, with plans to double this in the new year through the partnerships we have gotten here at the university. My co-founder, Sally, and I are Cambridge-educated engineers with lived experience into Kenya's energy challenges, having attended schools without electricity during our formative years. We have also established strong partnerships on the ground, and therefore our local knowledge combined with technical skills and sustainability expertise make us the right team to deliver on this job. And we are here today seeking strategic allies and mentors to help us refine our model, scale impact, and connect with networks in education, energy, and technology. And together, we can spark opportunity powered by solar. Thank you very much.
Right. My name is Callum MacDonald, and I'm the CEO of Myta Bio. As a wee lad, I spent more time on the water than on land. I grew up in the historic port town of Bideford, where I'd sit and watch the ships come and go, their hulls telling stories of a constant battle, not just against storms and waves, but something far more persistent and far more destructive: corrosion. This childhood observation reflects an $80 billion annual problem. Every year, our maritime infrastructure loses this staggering amount to corrosion damage and the ineffective solutions we use to fight it. Here's the brutal reality. Coating manufacturers like Henkel spend millions developing anti-corrosion solutions that still fail catastrophically. Ships, turbines, and related infrastructure are designed to last decades, but the coatings we use to protect them need multiple expensive replacements throughout their lifetime. Why? Because current solutions can't bond properly to wet steel, and they crack under constant wave impact. But here's why I'm excited. Mussels have been solving this exact problem for the last 500 million years. They stick to rocks in the most violent ocean conditions, and these bonds even self-repair when damaged, and we've cracked their code. Myta is our novel chemical additive that gives any anti-corrosion coating mussel-like superpowers. It bonds in wet conditions, it self-heals micro tears, and we can manufacture it at scale using precision fermentation. Our breakthrough manufacturing method allows us to synthesize the exact same proteins mussels use 7 times faster than existing techniques. We predict that we'll at least double the lifetime of these maritime coatings, and we don't want to stop there. It's our ambition to expand into and evolve the entire 2.5 trillion corrosion market. So the team. I bring biology, physics, and strategy consulting experience, plus I've won awards for previous ventures, but the real power is my co-founder, Penny. She's the chemical engineer whose research on muscle foot proteins is our technological foundation. She's also learned about this problem firsthand during her time at New Zealand Steel, where she learned how millions are wasted on failing coatings. On our journey so far, leading angels have expressed serious interest. We've had multiple rounds of conversations with early-stage investors, and we've begun discussions with industry giants Henkel and AkzoNobel, who are helping us to validate our commercial opportunity. We're looking to start conversations with angels ahead of our 600K pre-seed raise in Q1 2026. Until then, we're working on our technical MVP. Myta Bio is the future of high-performance marine protection. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, a few years ago, I lost my father to cardiac arrest because the hospital had a defibrillator component shortage. The one sat unused in a storeroom just 2 blocks away. That loss showed me a truth. Surplus isn't just a healthcare problem. It sits idle across every sector. And if made visible, it's not a leftover. It could actually be a lifeline. That's why I built the Surplus. In the past few years, over 1,000 paying small companies have used our platform to generate over $6 million by trading idle inventory and even sharing unused space, while diverting millions of kilos from landfill. And we've bootstrapped to revenue positive. But every successful match actually revealed 10 more opportunities sitting dormant, validating a far larger problem. Every year, $1.8 trillion in excess resources go untraded, enough to form the world's 13th largest economy. Meanwhile, companies face supply shocks, trade wars, and resource nationalism. Industrial symbiosis, a subset of the circular economy, the idea that one company's waste becomes another's input, could unlock this value, but today's approaches are manual, fragmented, and far too slow. What's missing isn't another circular marketplace. It's the digital infrastructure to make secondary material markets as tradable as primary commodities. We've outgrown the circular marketplace model. Cluster X is the first universal protocol for secondary material markets. Think Bloomberg Terminal, but for surplus. We use open source intelligence for speed, but the differentiator is our proprietary AI graph. It connects messy, unstructured signals into a clear map, and our pricing engine turns overlooked surplus and waste streams into tradable assets with real liquidity. For companies, that means finding alternative resources in seconds instead of months, reducing operational risk and, of course, driving profitability. We've already signed contracts with world-leading banks, conglomerates, and economic zones who will act as distribution partners, giving us a confirmed pipeline of over 1 million businesses across 3 continents. For our partners, it's not just about sustainability, but critical intelligence for supply chain security, with each user driving $200 in annual recurring revenue. And our enterprise supply chain security is a $200 billion market. Capturing even 1% is a $2 billion opportunity, with trade wars and resource nationalism making supply chain security a geopolitical priority. I'm a Cambridge engineering PhD with 13 years of industry experience. Our team combines decades of commercial excellence, multi-billion-dollar exits, and a female-majority commercial team from underrepresented backgrounds who have experienced this challenge directly, which is why we're so incredibly committed to solving it. We are backed by a world-class international advisory board that, of course, forbids us to sleep. And now we are raising £3 million to expand our team, finalize our IP, and accelerate distribution across 3 continents. We project that when scaled, our network will mitigate more than 2 gigatons of carbon emissions, the equivalent of removing half the world's cars off the road for an entire year. So, ladies and gentlemen, secondary resources are not waste. They are the world's largest untapped commodity class, and we're building the infrastructure to map it, to price it, and trade it. So please join us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rana. How are we feeling so far? We need bigger woos. All right, so we have a short break now. Technically, the bar is closed, but as you can imagine, when you're at King's and friends with Caviar, there's nothing you can't achieve. So please head over to the bar area for a few refreshments and be back in your seats by 5 o'clock for the rest of the pitches. Thank you.
Hello, hello. Hello, everyone. Hello. Take your seats. We're going to start in 30 seconds. I can see so much excitement. So much excitement. Yes. Since we have a couple of minutes, I thought I'd pitch my venture for you. No, I'm kidding, I'm kidding, I'm kidding. I haven't prepped for that. Thank you so much for taking it. Just to say, the bar will be fully open at the next break. So it was half open, so we were fully open. Yeah, excellent. Winnie?
Mike, I'm good. All right, welcome back. How's the energy? How are we feeling? There you go. See, Cam, I told you refreshments would help. Okay, we have 3 more groups for you, so let's get right to it. Our first group is a bunch of startups who are using technology to crack into markets which have historically been technologically underserved. So, for example, think of the art market, or the credit market, or even the retrofit market. And our first presenter today for the second half is using technology to empower reproductive choice. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Ali Draycott, CEO of Egg Advisor.
10 years ago, in the middle of a divorce, I decided to freeze my eggs. And since then, radio silence. Nothing. No updates on my clinic, no support, just an annual storage bill. So far, I have spent £15,000. Legally, I can keep my eggs frozen for another 45 years at a further cost of £23,000. But what happens if I decide I don't want to use my eggs? Surely they have value for someone else. It turns out I am not alone. Like me, 94% of women who've frozen their eggs have not yet returned to use them. And like me, they are frustrated and overwhelmed. And yet egg freezing is the fastest growing fertility procedure globally, driven by a growing awareness of global infertility, a private insurance market, and corporates who are increasingly offering egg freezing as a workplace perk. But this is a system that abandons women post-procedure. Fertility clinics are simply not set up to manage long-term fertility preservation. This isn't just a gap in the market. This represents billions of pounds of frozen hope. At Egg Advisor, we understand that egg freezing is not a one-off procedure. It is a journey of reproductive asset management. We are building dedicated services for those considering egg freezing, those with frozen eggs, and those who are looking to use their eggs, either for themselves or by donating to others. Our platform ensures that women are supported, informed, and connected for some of life's most difficult and expensive decisions. We are working with best-in-class providers to create new and innovative products to ensure that women can move and use their eggs in any way they choose. Our revenue model is diversified: storage fees, data monetization, and marketplace commissions. Our long-term vision is to create a global ecosystem dedicated to the egg. Right now, our MVP is live, partnerships are in negotiation, and even though we're yet to invest in marketing, the media is approaching us. As a founding team, we have execution credibility. I am a third-time founder, and my co-founder, Dr. Valerie Shakely, oversaw the protocol of the first ever baby born by frozen eggs. Together, we are scoping out our Dubai launch and expect to raise in Q1 2026. Please join us on this journey. This is not just about fertility, but this is about unfreezing hope.
Hello, I'm Grace, CEO of Retro Analytica. Old housing is one of Britain's biggest environmental liabilities. It's old, it's energy inefficient, and it's putting us completely off track for meeting net zero. The government knows this, which is why it's forcing the issue through regulatory changes. By 2030, over 18 million homes won't be able to be rented or sold without meeting new EPC requirements. EPCs, or Energy Performance Certificates, are ratings of homes' energy efficiency from A to G. But meeting these new standards, well, that's a £200 billion forced infrastructure transition, the biggest forced infrastructure transition in British history, and right now it's happening completely blind. But here's the paradox. Billions of pounds in retrofit financing is available, but it's fragmented, coming from governments, energy companies, and carbon markets. Up to 80% of homeowners don't even know it exists. We have mandated demand, we have the capital, and yet the funding is inaccessible due to complexity, opacity, and bureaucracy. The second paradox, the data. EPCs, the government's own energy ratings, are notoriously unreliable. Up to 40% of homes don't even have one, and the ones that do can be up to 15 years out of date. Retrofit firms exploit this, gaming the system, doing the minimum upgrades needed to push homes up just one EPC band, leaving huge potential energy and carbon savings on the table. We're passionate about doing this better, providing better measurements to governments. And for the past 3 years, our team has been working on exactly this during our PhDs at the University of Cambridge. We've partnered with data providers, built our own data sets, trained our own machine learning models to provide energy efficiency ratings for every home, not just those with an EPC. We can do this for buildings, neighborhoods, cities, the whole country, using near real-time data rather than outdated assessments. Our research has been validated through peer review at multiple top-tier journals and has also received attention in the national media. Our team, well, we're ready to build. We've had over 20 years of experience researching housing decarbonisation, AI for the environment, and sustainable design. As CEO, I'm focused on delivering partnerships with local government to embed our methods into city planning. Mauren, our CTO, is further developing our algorithms to assess homes through thermal imaging data. And our scientific advisor, Professor Barden, is a leading voice in sustainable design and computational architecture. Cambridge has given us the theoretical foundation. The retrofit crisis is the perfect real-world application. And while we're still exploring whether to scale through consultancy or product, our mission remains the same. Unlock retrofit financing, provide better measurements, and drive huge emissions reductions at national scales. We'd love to talk about how we can partner to help turn Britain's biggest compliance crisis into its most profitable infrastructure transition. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Natalia, CEO of Manurva, and we're turning conversations into sales for galleries and art fairs. We are living in an era where you can research everything from a toothbrush to a Tesla before buying, yet how many times have you taken a photo of a piece of art you like, but not bought it because you don't know where to go to get more information? I know I have. The $58 billion art market remains completely opaque. More people want to buy art than ever before. 41 million transactions took place last year, but collectors are flying blind. Galleries spend tens to hundreds of thousands of pounds on things like booths at art fairs just to reach collectors, but they're operating completely analog. The bottom line, more people want to buy art than ever before, and galleries are struggling to reach collectors and buyers, but they just don't know how to find each other. It's like finding a needle in a haystack. I'm Natalia, and together with my co-founder Thunby, we're building Manurva, the AI-enabled intelligence layer that the art market desperately needs. Imagine you're walking around a gallery or an art fair and you see a painting you really like. Simply take out your phone, text Manurva, and instantly our agent will be able to provide you with more information about the artist, the artwork, and even recommend more pieces you might be interested in buying. Meanwhile, for galleries, we're providing comprehensive data on engagement with their collections. That translates to more sales. And we have real momentum. So far, 100% of the galleries we've spoken to have shown interest in Manurva. We've actually landed our first design partner here in Cambridge. Why us? My co-founder Thunby is doing her PhD here at Cambridge in computational medical imaging analysis, building exactly the kinds of models we need, combining contextual data with images. I've spent the last several years building machine learning models and tech products in financial markets and collectibles. We're not just building a better way to buy art, we're creating the infrastructure that will completely transform how this market operates. If you or anyone you know is interested in what we're building, please scan the QR code on the screen and reach out. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Chagula Deya, founder of Vison, and today I would like to start by telling a story about a different Chago. He's a delivery courier working hard to get ahead. He has been saving some money to buy a car to finally drive for Uber, a major step up in life. He finds the perfect car online and applies for a loan to cover the remaining amount. The result? Loan denied. The reason? Insufficient credit history. The credit data industry couldn't see his true financial worth, and that means he is credit invisible. Credit invisibility is a huge problem all over the world, including the UK, where 5 million people are credit invisible, 9 million people are misrepresented by credit reports, and 1 out of 5 had a credit application denied in the last 12 months. Credit visibility is not only a social crisis, it's a large untapped market opportunity. If addressed, we could unlock £23 billion every year in consumer credit in the UK alone. I have been watching the credit visibility crisis firsthand in my 10 years of experience in the fintech industry. And what I've learned is that despite all the progress, all the technological advancements that we have had in the last few years, the credit data industry remains stagnant and complacent. And this is why I found Vison, the future of credit data, powered by AI and driven by financial inclusion. Through our platform, users can create a financial passport, linking all their financial data, like open banking, gig platforms, rent payments, all in a single place. Our AI engine analyzes this data and can forecast financial behavior like spending patterns, income patterns, and so on. With this financial passport, users can also unlock access to financial well-being tools, like our LLM-based financial advisor. And not only that, they can use their financial passport in a marketplace, where lenders compete with each other to offer the best pre-approved financial products. Our ambition is global, and with the support of kings and founders, we are on track to launch by the end of this year. Right now, we are seeking fintech experts, industry partners, and angel investors who are excited to disrupt the credit data market with us. With that, I invite you to join our mission to leverage AI into an unstoppable force for financial inclusion. Thank you.
All right. Up next are our life science companies. You'll hear about precision care for IBD and even a way to make insulin more accessible and widely available to all. But first, I want to introduce you to Ruben, the CEO of Polytex. Ruben and his team have come up with a cheap e-textile to diagnose cardiovascular diseases accurately. Over to you, Ruben. Floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ruben, and I'm the CEO and founder of Polytex, where we believe that the skin is a window into the body. We develop smart textiles for faster, earlier, and better diagnostics. Cardiovascular disease is the leading cause of death worldwide, accounting for 1 in every 3 deaths. However, the remarkable thing is that if caught early, more than 80% of conditions can be prevented. However, our diagnostic tools have not kept up. The standard ECG, which was invented here in Cambridge 100 years ago, still looks pretty much the same as it did then. Sticky electrodes, tangled wires, and a very limited view of the heart's activity. On the other hand, advanced imaging technologies like echocardiography or MRI are expensive, hospital-bound, and have waiting lists of 6 months to a year. So patients are stuck between tools that are too simple to detect disease and tools that are too advanced to be used in time. At Polytex, we're bridging that gap. And this is what the future of cardiac diagnostics looks like. We're developing smart textile electrode arrays that can map the electrical activity of the body in detail, comfortably, and non-invasively. Just imagine going to your local GP and putting on a simple t-shirt that can give you cardiac insights that would otherwise require imaging. Our team currently consists of myself, a CEO. I'm a second-time founder, and I also developed the technology over 3 years of PhD here in Cambridge. And we also have Charlie Brandt as our CTO. He is also a Cambridge alumni and an old student of mine, so we've worked together before. And I've also got an amazing advisory board that includes a lot of Cambridge academics that have expertise in medical device manufacturing, veterinary cardiology, and entrepreneurship. With our patented technology, we have performed a pilot study in over 20 dogs that have given us a unique data set and also confirmed that our technology is not only able to detect disease, but it can actually go a step further and tell us how advanced the condition is. Our objective for the next 6 months is to have a veterinary product on the market. However, our ultimate ambition is to translate this technology into humans. And for that, we'll be raising funds in the second quarter of 2026, and we're looking for investors that might be interested in this opportunity. Polyex technology is more than just an improvement on the ECG. It is a novel method of cardiac diagnostics. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. Great pleasure to have all you here. I'm Xiaoyi. We are SafeTide. We're here to make insulin available to all. A little over 100 years ago, insulin was discovered. As an essential medication, its access should be universal. Well, how did we do now? A sharp contrast here. The discovery of insulin is a medical milestone. It promises extended life, years of extended life, to millions. However, there's a global inaccessibility of insulin. By 2030, there will be 80 million people who need insulin, but 40 million people will not get it. A 50% chance at life is not a promise fulfilled. Why? Because insulin needs to be injected as a liquid, but in a liquid state, insulin is inherently not stable. Very expensive pharmaceutical cold chain logistics are needed in every step. And what if we do not use cold chain? Well, please look at the video. Insulin will flow freely in solution, but soon they will collide and aggregate and effectively die. Now approaches, they all rely on the cold chain logistics, which composes of 20% of the whole cost. Well, we have a new technology, mainly developed by me over the past 5 years. This technology is affordable, accessible, and stable, all under room temperature. How the tech work? So we have CB as a molecular handcuff to protect insulin. We also have a displacer molecule to serve as a key to release insulin on demand. First step, we protect insulin by protective handcuffing. While you can see, when insulin meets CB8 in solution, they will be gently tethered onto solid support with spacing. Insulins are now safe. On the next step, when insulins are needed for patients, we can add another molecule, a displacer, as we not only hold the handcuff, we also hold the key. When we add the displacer molecule to the solution, they will displace insulin and release insulin back to solution, ready to be injected for the patients. Now we know the tech work. Let's look at one scenario. In UK alone, if our tech is adopted for NHS, the cost per patient per year for diabetes care will plummet tenfold more, and the stability of insulin will increase tenfold more. This technology is developed mainly by me Xiaoyi from a world-leading lab in our perspective field, led by Professor Alden Sherman, who's a five-time entrepreneur and a renowned Cambridge professor. Also, Claire, Dr. soon-to-be, will complete this ambitious team. We are now on a venture. We want $1 million to solve the insulin issue. We tackle from all 5 aspects with 3 clear and obtainable milestones. We will be starting in the UK. However, we also have global ambitions. Let's help with diabetes care. It's a £30 billion market and 80 million people in need. It's time to finally and affordably deliver on that 100-year-old promise. Thank you. Scan for more.
Good afternoon. My name is Seokjun, CEO of Yakon Quantum Bio. You are what you eat, and you're eating a lot of crap. Since the Industrial Revolution, our diet has transformed dramatically. Our gut now deals with unnatural and ultra-processed food, and they're struggling to cope with this new reality. The consequence? A staggering rise of chronic gut disorders like inflammatory bowel disease. These conditions were almost unheard just a generation ago, but today 1 in 100 are affected and expected to grow more rapidly. This leaves clinicians flying blind in their clinic. They're forced into reactive care because their clinical decisions are based on visual observations rather than understanding of molecular signature. As a result, patients spend years cycling through powerful and expensive drug, hoping one will work. This trial and error approach isn't just inefficient, it's a huge burden on patients, their family, and our healthcare system. There's an urgent and unmet need for accurate treatment guidance. At Yakon, we're ending this guessing game with our gut memory-driven prognosis solution. Here's how it works. First, we take patients' gut sample and grow them into personalized organoids, a living avatar of their gut. Next, we read its gut memory, epigenetic biomarkers that precursors aging, disease risks, phenotype variation, and drug responses. Finally, our proprietary quantum walk algorithm decodes today's signal into tomorrow's health trajectory. This technology powers our 2 products. For clinicians, we offer Yakon Prognosis, the most reliable prognosis service for chronic gut disease from day 1, which blood tests will never achieve. The data package we generate powers Yakon Quantum, the world's most accurate map of decoded gut epigenome, which creates massive opportunity for future drug discovery and longevity research partnership. The urgency is reflected in the market. The global treatment market for chronic gut disease is $25 billion today, growing over $33 billion by 2030. Our initial addressable market is 40% of those patients failing their first-line treatment, which represent an immediate $10 billion opportunity. We're not starting from scratch. Our solution is built on 10 years of academic research. With our fantastic team coming from same academic group, we've created the world-leading organoid discovery engine, validated over 1,000 organoids. And with our unique expertise in quantum algorithm and access to real IBM quantum computer, we have full confidence to pioneer this market. Currently, we're advancing our academic R&D and planning our funding round for third quarter of 2026. Please join us. Today, we're actively seeking connections to longevity industry to accelerate our path to the market. Now, Yakon, it means grandma's hand in Korean. As a kid, when I had tummy pain, my grandma used to stroke my tummy and always make me feel better. We all have our own grandma. Our vision is to combine the timeless wisdom of grandma's care with the cutting-edge science of gut memory, bringing warmth, trust, and healing with innovation and evidence. Thank you.
All right. And just like that, we are at our final set of pitches. For this final group, we have 4 AI startups working across nuclear fusion, logistics, human AI co-working. You name the problem and they're addressing it. But first, we'll start off with a chip company. So I'm excited to introduce Mahira, who is tackling the semiconductor hardware industry with speed, scale, and efficiency. Ladies and gentlemen, Mahira Ghani, CEO of Dialectrics.
Hi, I'm Mahira, CEO and co-founder of Dialectrics. In 1955, the first computer that was released was powered by 2,300 tiny electronic chips called transistors. Today, each iPhone that we hold contains over 134 billion transistors. Transistors are the building blocks of the old semiconductor electronics, and they're aggressively miniaturized today to power devices around us. But today we face a critical challenge. These transistors are struggling to shrink in size. This roadmap shows the design of transistor over a period of time, and industry has launched a promising CFET transistor to be the next game-changing device. It's going to be around us, and it's here. And interestingly, it's going to be based on just 1 atom-thick semiconductor. Yes, we are going towards that route already. So this is how the next generation transistor architecture will look like. And there are lots of different components. Not to overwhelm anyone, one very important component is dielectric wafer, as labeled here. Thin semiconductors are already currently pursued by big leading players, but here's the problem. Industry does not have compatible dielectric wafer that is scalable for these devices. Traditional solution causes huge power consumption and poor reliability. That's where Dialectrics come in. We have developed a compatible dielectric wafer film for next generation transistor device. As you can see, I'm holding our first prototype wafer here. Our technology offers, which is tested on more than 100 devices, 10 times better electronic performance and easy integration in semiconductor industry, which is always the bottleneck. We are offering a cost-effective and a scalable solution. Our market strategy, based on promising discussion with different customers, is to start with sensors. We will build efficient and faster sensors with our technology, and finally, we would be ready for the semiconductor foundries. Our team brings strong technical and business expertise. I am myself a material scientist. I did my PhD in material science from Cambridge with Professor Manish Chawla, with decades of experience in semiconductor electronics and successful startups. We have already won our proof of concept grant fundings to accelerate our technology, and we have initiated collaboration with leading players. Currently, we are seeking connection to potential customers and investors as we will open for our seed round earlier next year. So the forefront of technology is here, and I can proudly say that Dialectrics is at the forefront. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Elliot. I'm going to present Cambridge Mobilitics. So, there are 1.5 million electric vehicles in the UK. Just today, 65,000 people will charge their electric vehicle on a public charge point. And then obviously a lot more will charge their electric vehicle at home on an EV home charger. And yet, being a company that provides charging solutions, either public or residential, is still very much a money-losing business somehow. And that is because they're all very inefficient businesses. For every one worker that actually installs charge points, there's at least 2 or 3 that just review basic data. This is an example of the form you have to fill in in order to get an EV home charger installed at your house. So this is a feasibility survey. It's very messy, obviously. You gotta take pictures of your house's electrical installation, and then every single time, this form is gonna get reviewed by a human on the other side. So at Cambridge Mobilitics, first of all, I automate that whole process. I provide a white label, user-friendly survey tool that then automatically analyzes the data and outputs a nice ranked list of leads with at the top the ones that we know are already good to go for a standard EV home charger installation. Then quickly, we want to move from residential to commercial charge points, and we're already developing the AI models we need for that. But for our first product, we already got a client, Potpoint, who's one of the UK's leaders in home charger, in EV home chargers. Someone there, vice president, said, our business desperately needs those AI tools to get more efficient. And that's a problem that everyone in our business has and is struggling with right now. So as for me, I am an experienced software engineer. I worked for many years at a charge point operator myself, so I'm very familiar with that problem. I have a background in AI and machine learning, and I'm finishing my MBA here at King's in focusing on energy markets. In terms of growth, I see providing AI efficiency tools to charge point operators and installers as a start, a $1 billion start. But I then want to train AI models useful to other industries on the data they produce and then share the revenue with them. And that's a $2.1 billion opportunity. That's 0.6% of the global data brokerage market by 2030. In terms of funding, that project won a prize at the King's Entrepreneurship Prize 2025, so that came with a small grant. And I'm raising £700,000 for scaling our first product, so the automated EV home charger feasibility tool. So I'm looking to meet investors who share that vision, and you can get in touch by scanning the QR code here. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I'm Boy, CEO of iFlame. I'm delighted to be here to introduce our AI product that amplifies your team's ability to innovate. History is littered with expensive and misguided solutions to problems that are not really exist. For example, this is a $700 juice machine. They raised $120 million to build it. The only problem is that squeezing the bag inside by hand can produce a very similar juice as the machine would do. So as you can see, products that do not solve the problems are everywhere. It always comes down to the poor product definition. And so no matter it's big firms weighted down by bureaucracy or small firms that's lacking resources and expertise, the outcomes are the same. Costly failure, slower time to market, and the product not fit for purpose. What if there's a way to avoid all these pitfalls? To address this $1 trillion problem, we are developing an AI-native workspace for product definition, which seamlessly integrates user research, design analysis, and product planning into a single AI-powered platform where humans and AI agents can collaborate. We piloted our MVP with 22 product managers, designers, consultants, and founders. It manages product definition end to end. So here is how it works. First, it clarifies design goals, create personas, and conduct automated interviews. Then it identifies the right people for real user research and plans the interviews. Once the interviews are completed, our system analyzes the results and generates structured, actionable insights. So in our pilots, this process already cut user research time by 80%, but this is just the beginning. We are developing on market analysis, ideation, risk analysis, and technical planning. Always with human teams making key decisions. And we have a very strong founding team, and we are very confident about this. I hold a PhD in engineering and develop multiple human AI systems and products. Our CTO, John Dudley, is a faculty member with 10 years research and commercial experience in this space. Previously worked as a senior automation engineer. Our chief scientific officer, Paula Christensen, is a serial entrepreneur and a professor in interactive systems engineering. Among all his products, he co-invented gesture typing, nowadays pre-installed on almost all smartphones, with an estimated of 200 million daily users globally. And now we are building up networks and seeking a pre-seed of 250K to develop the enterprise-ready product. So if you are interested, please contact us, and let's create an AI-native future for hundreds of millions of innovators together. Thank you.
Greetings, everybody. Almost the last one, but it's been a pleasure to be with you today. I am Joseph Francisco. I am the founder and CEO of Aira Analytics, and today I'm sharing the journey and how we are aiming to transform the overall global transport infrastructure. So, 2.3 million organizations worldwide face significant challenges in terms of reducing the costs of their operations from a point of view of transport. Significant delays, ever-changing traffic conditions, but most importantly, new ways of transport by the form of EVs, essentially being adopted by several organizations, have the challenges of using critical infrastructure, charging points, and so on. So these problems I have solved before while I was leading organizations around mining back in Australia. Then the journey took me to solve similar problems in banking, as I was the head of AI of one of the banks here in the UK. But I as well have the fortune to work with a driverless company. So essentially the opportunity that was identified was around $30 billion essentially in the global AI and logistics infrastructure. And primarily this being just driven to reduce costs. Organizations that use efficiently AI, not only just to optimize one journey from point A to point B, but whole fleets, a joint objective situation where you have several vehicles together. That's the key challenge, because the dynamic rescheduling is a different situation. So essentially this context and these markets opportunities growing by 35% as a global average. We have built an already working prototype to do this dynamic planning, collected data based on a semi-autonomous vehicle, an EV, and we have the opportunity to optimize the journey of a whole fleet of vehicles, and at the same time have the opportunity to reduce the cost and operations derived from these journeys. We have a solid track record. We started early last year with sponsorships to validate our current market needs. We have the opportunity to be represented by different entities from the government to speak to different organizations around the UK, and as well mainland Europe and US. Then we got a grant and a second grant, so we haven't even compromised any equity from the business. And in addition to that, by the end of this year, we are aiming as well to expand our collaboration and partnerships, especially mainland Europe and eventually US. One of our key characteristics is having the opportunity to integrate the data using geographic information systems. We have a resolution to represent the whole UK infrastructure by 1 meter of resolution. In addition to that, we integrate GenAI. We have support for fleet management, and as well help organizations to reduce the total cost of ownership. We have developed our own proprietary algorithms, our IP, and at the same time, our own databases. The current route to market will need to work with additional strategic clients, validate the rest of the market opportunity in terms of like 10 relevant large fleet management companies, and extend our presence mainly in Europe and later on US. And as well, we'll be validating the next features using statistical modeling similar to what has been done back in the previous roles. Our team has 42 years of collective experience. In my case, 16 years of experience leading major projects in AI for BCG, Rio Tinto, and Santander Bank. And the rest of my team complement those skills in terms of operations management, data engineering, and at the same time, scale these projects and technology on a global scale. So today, our call to action, well, is number one, to connect with you, have the opportunity to discuss new areas of collaboration, network, and we'll be aiming as well to raise investment by late this year and early as well in 2026. It's been a pleasure talking to you. I really enjoy having this opportunity, and this is a fantastic way to finalize my studies here at Cambridge. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, I'm Alex. After working closely with 20 fusion companies, I was accepted to a PhD in machine learning at the universities of Cambridge and Manchester. Now, I'm dropping out to build Zenithon AI. We raised 800K in pre-seed funding to build cutting-edge machine learning models and make fusion happen fast. Currently, over 60 fusion companies are racing to market. At the core of every reactor is plasma, and reactor design and control depend on accurate plasma simulation. The problem is the industry is still dependent on old, slow research codes. Simulations take days, cost thousands, and have to be run through a supercomputer. And when real-world data is available, it takes months to incorporate it into the code. This exact problem is faced by every fusion company and is standing in the way of abundant green energy. Recent breakthroughs in machine learning for physics now model complex high-dimensional systems at interactive speeds. Zenithon builds upon this with foundation models that slash simulation from days to seconds, turning reactor design into a live, iterative process. This fundamentally changes how we design new things, tweak fields, geometry, or materials, and see results instantly. And as more real-world data comes along, the models just get better and better. Reality and simulation in one tight loop. The need is pressing, and the market is growing. 30 fusion companies have been founded in the last 5 years, and $3 billion has been invested this year alone. For the first time, our technology is possible, and it is needed desperately. Our approach is simple. Start with fusion, where there's an acute need, slow simulations, and collaborative customers. But why stop there? We see a future where every simulation is transformed into real-time design. We wouldn't just dominate the simulation market, we would grow it. The team we're building is truly world-class. My co-founder, Abby, completed his PhD at Imperial before working for 4 years as a plasma physicist at one of the top fusion energy companies. He's lived this exact problem end to end. On our advisory panel, we're joined by Zhongyi Li, who invented neural operators, and Dan Brunner, who founded the world's largest fusion energy company. This phase of the company's development is all about customer-driven development. We just signed our first contract for 300K ARR with our first design partner, and we have strong inroads for 2 more. In the summer, we raised our pre-seed round from some awesome investors, but we're keen to grow our network, and our vision has grown as well, so we'll be raising a 500K extension round to some truly value-add external investors. Join us to revolutionize simulation. First fusion, then the world. Thank you.
So that's a wrap on the Spark 1.0 cohort pitches. A huge thank you to all the companies who have presented today and to all of you for your time and attention this afternoon. And now, in the interest of getting you to the promised fully open bar as early as possible, I hand back to Shilpa and Gerard for closing remarks. Thank you.
So I think that was a very, very impressive set of pitches. I'm sure you'll agree. I'd like to say huge thanks and well done to all of our founders. You were so impressive, and I think you've made us all extremely proud today. Spark is the culmination of 3.5 weeks of intensive training and mentorship for these founders. As Camille mentioned at the start of today, the Spark program was created by the advisory board of the King's Entrepreneurship Lab, on which I sit. And it's been an absolute pleasure and passion project to make this program happen. So together with Malcolm Mackenzie, our chair, Luke Alvarez, Penny Hersher, Jonathan Adams, and the fellows and members of King's College, I think we've truly broken boundaries to create the first ever incubator program here at King's. Together with our partners at Founders at the University of Cambridge, what we've done is we've created a platform to really plug the gap here in Cambridge that existed for a training program that bridged the gap between the ideation and the commercialization stage of entrepreneurs. And we've layered on top of that professional mentoring from successful investors, serial entrepreneurs. Our cohort even had the pleasure last week of spending time with our provost, Gillian Tett, with Cambridge legend David Cleaveley. They've heard literally from the best of the best. So I'd like to just thank everyone involved in the program, and I think Gerard will go into a few more details on that. But I wanted to say that just because we've ended Spark today, this is really the beginning of the journey for our founders. Thank you for joining us, and as investors, we really hope that you'll use tonight's events, the networking opportunity to learn more about these companies. We invite you to arrange further meetings with these companies. They're truly going to change the world, but they need all of our support to get there. So thanks for being here, and thanks for supporting them.
That is the call to action, obviously. I really just want to say thank you to King's College, eLab, to Malcolm, to Shelpa, to Cam, but also to many people that have made this possible, many of whom are you in the room. A lot of mentors are here, a lot of investor mentors, a lot of product mentors are here. Thank you so much, because you've given so much of your time. A lot of you are exited founders, a lot of you are investors. You came here, you spent time with them. It made a huge difference. Backing talent at this early stage can change the trajectory of someone's life. So thank you so much. Also want to thank the team at Founders at the University of Cambridge. So many people, but Mark, unfortunately, who's the program director, has been ill. We had 24 hours notice, but I think we got our stuff sorted out. But Mark, I know he's watching actually. So thank you so much. Grisha, obviously. Connor, Winnie. Yeah, Grisha's been sort of doing a lot of air traffic controlling, I think, right? Yeah. And Winnie, obviously, and Laura, and obviously many members from the Cambridge Enterprise team who've actually made this happen as well. And also, as you know, 2 of the companies will be pitching based on today's pitches, obviously, for 20K safes, convertible notes, provided by Cambridge Enterprise Ventures. So we're really rooting for whoever is going to get that money. But look, I just want to say thank you so much for making time again. I know that this is something that you enjoy, I think, because many of you are actually involved in the development of this ecosystem. And it wouldn't be what it is. These people wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you in the audience. So thank you so much for coming. And now I think it's time for drinks. So yeah. Please join us.
So that was the official proceedings. And thank you to all those who are online. Unfortunately, we had to cancel dinner, but there will be no, I'm kidding. Dinner is at 7 o'clock. In the meantime, hang out in the bar. There should hopefully be some good quality Prosecco and non-alcoholic drinks. So feel free to mingle and enjoy yourselves. Thank you, everyone.